If you look at the videos that Gypsy has posted from last Thursday to yesterday, they're all at Ken's house. Every one of them. So let's talk about why she is continuing to stay at Ken's house, even though she's basically been called out for cheating on him with Ryan. Because let's be real, when you are having an emotional connection with another person, that is cheating. She was doing the same thing to Ryan when she started cheating on Ryan with Ken. It started as an emotional affair. So, again, why has she not left Ken's house during this entire debacle? Because we all see that she is not only humiliating Ryan, but she's humiliating Ken as well. Like, they're both victims in this scenario. And her staying at Ken's house instead of leaving and giving him some space to deal with the situation, it's calculated. Everything that Gypsy does is calculated. And just like she got on the internet as a way to control the damage for her public image, her staying at Ken's house is another form of trying to do damage control with Ken. Her leaving his house would basically be like her admitting guilt, being that it is her subtle way of asserting dominance over the situation and letting him know that he is not in control and that she is, and that she isn't going anywhere because she's the one that pays for that house. And this is abuse. Her not leaving is also her avoiding accountability, which we know she loves to avoid accountability. Narcissists like Gypsy Rose hate being the bad guy. So staying allows them to spin the narrative like, why are you overreacting? I'm right here. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not cheating on you physically. I'm here in the house. But cheating is not about physical cheating. Cheating is also about emotional cheating. And I feel like emotional cheating is actually worse than physical cheating. They're both fucked up, but in my opinion, having an emotional connection is on a deeper level than just having sex with somebody else. Because you can have sex without an emotional connection. And now that she has lost her narcissistic ego supply in Ryan, she's not going to let Ken go because he's her only supply at this point. Even if she did have somebody else on the back burner, she's not going to let Ken go because she's at least getting some affection, some validation, and the roof over her head. And it's someone for her to manipulate. And if she leaves, she risks Ken talking to other people about what is going on and potentially getting advice on how to leave and exit the situation, and she can't have that. So she feels like if she's in the home, she's in control and has power over the situation. Staying gives her more time to love bomb him, to confuse him back into silence, to gaslight him. And the last thing is because she feels entitled. She feels entitled to stay in that home, even though we all know it's against her parole to be living in somebody else's house that's not her dad's. Because her parole home plan is to her dad's home. And I'm pretty sure that Gypsy is the one paying for that home. So it's her way of saying, I'm in control here, I'm the one paying here, and I'm gonna stay, and you're not gonna have anything to say about it. And how dare you be upset about something that I did? I'm the one that's giving you all of this. But make no mistake, it's never about resolving the issue. Because the issue with a narcissist never gets resolved because they're constantly gaslighting you into submission. This is about power, control, and dominance. And if Ken wants her to get out of his house, he's gonna have to come up with a strategy. Because as long as he's upset about this situation, she is going to try to control the narrative by staying. If he wants to be heard by Gypsy, he needs to be clear and say, you've broken my trust. I need some space. I'm asking you to leave, and I'm not going to argue about it. And if he wanted to be more assertive, he could say, you've been over here for longer than you should. If you do not leave, I will call your parole officer. Sometimes you do have to set boundaries in order to be heard with the narcissist. And don't let them wait for permission. Like, just do what you're gonna do and stand behind that. And the sad thing is that Ken does not have any backup at his house at all. Like, there's nobody in Louisiana for him to communicate with and get the help that he needs, because sadly, Christy and Rod don't want her at their house either, because all she does is invite chaos, drama, and confusion into every single situation. I'm pretty sure that Ken is on the lease in some way. It would be best for Ken to get a hold of whoever is the whoever they're renting from, communicate with them about the situation, and change the locks if need be. I know it sounds extreme, but she's not going to leave until he basically crumbles into submission and acts as if nothing happened. And this is a psychological abusive situation. It's also creating a trauma bond. Now, I know that Ken is an adult and he put himself in this situation. However, we are all watching. We are all watching the psychological and emotional abuse that Gypsy is putting both of these men through. And while we may not like either one of them, neither one of them deserve to be abused by this person. And I feel like this is exactly what Dee Dee was going through with Gypsy. I feel like Dee Dee was being abused by her own daughter. We see now how she moves, how she retaliates. I cannot imagine what her mother was going through. For 23 years of her mother's life, who knows when this started? All of the times where Gypsy was talking about how her mother would hit her with coat hangers or hammers, I am now thinking that it was Gypsy doing that to Dee Dee. Now, I know I don't have any proof. It's all alleged, but the fact that she showed us who she is really tells us that this isn't new behavior. This is a pattern with her. And patterns do not just break overnight. Obviously, the Department of Corrections did not help at all. Going to prison did not correct any sort of behavior because she's continuing to act the same way that she was before she was incarcerated. And that's the scary part, because that person committed a heinous felony crime against their own mother. Y'all, I'm just like, it triggers me so much because I've been through this with people before, and I know exactly what she's doing to Ryan and to Ken. And it's harmful. It is abuse. No matter how many times you slice it, this is considered domestic violence. Please make sure you're sharing this video, because Ken and Ryan both need to see this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and turn on those notification bells.